Hello students, today in this video I shall continue discussing digestive system for standard 9, and for that digestive system this is video number 6. We continue with the structures of alimentary canal. This is the 6th part of digestive system. Let us see digestive system, video number 6 for standard 9. We continue with parts of the alimentary canal continued. The 4th part, 3 parts already we have discussed. 4th part is the stomach. The stomach is a muscular pouch where food comes through from esophagus and kept stored for several hours, and digestion also takes place. Let us see the structure of it. The stomach of man is a large J-shaped, capital J-shaped, highly muscular pouch. This is very highly muscular because part of the work of stomach is churning the food, and that's why it is required to be muscular. Highly muscular pouch. It is very thick walled, highly distensible because variation of amount of food it can accommodate. Bag-like structure located below the diaphragm. Diaphragm is a membrane in our body cavity which is separating the upper thoracic chamber and lower abdominal chamber. Just below the diaphragm the stomach is present, slightly towards the left. The esophagus opens into it at upper side, and the opening of the stomach is guarded by ring-like sphincter. At the junction where esophagus enters the stomach, that junction is guarded by a ring-like sphincter muscle in between the two esophagus and stomach. This called cardiac sphincter. This cardiac sphincter do what? It prevents backward flow of food which enters the stomach. Once it enters the stomach, it is not allowed to go back. Although there are certain cases where vomiting comes up, that is a special case, that is different when regurgitation takes place. Otherwise, normally, it does not allow the food to go back into the esophagus. It prevents backward flow of food which enters the stomach. At the posterior end, the lower end, the stomach opens into the duodenum. That means the first part of the intestine. Duodenum, the first part of the small intestine. This opening is also guarded by a ring-like pyloric sphincter because it is also needed. Inside the stomach, it requires to be churned up and digested. So immediately if it passes into the intestine, it does not serve the purpose. Therefore, another sphincter is guarding the opening of stomach and duodenum, that is the first part of small intestine, by another sphincter. This is called pyloric sphincter. Pyloric sphincter. The stomach has therefore 3 distinct regions: upper, middle and lower. The upper cardiac region, this part is slightly projected upward above the sphincter level and is called fundus. If you talk about the pouches, this is the esophagus, the stomach is slightly this way. This is the projected part. This is the stomach, this is the lower portion. Then it goes into the duodenum. This is the middle portion and this is the lower portion. So this part is projected upward above the sphincter level and is called fundus. This is fundus. So a small sketch is being given there to explain the fundus. Second part, the middle body or corpus, the middle part of it, in the same sketch I am showing. This is the middle part, this is called corpus or body. And the third part is the lowermost part called pylorus. This is the J-shaped portion. The bottom of the J, letter J, is over here, This is called pylorus portion, pylorus or antrum. Lowermost part is called pylorus or antrum. This is the lower narrow part of the stomach which opens into duodenum. So these are the three parts, three regions of stomach. Inside the stomach, the inner wall is also very special. It is not smooth at all. It is very much folded and muscular. This folded and muscular condition is required by the stomach for its function. Let us see. Inner surface of the stomach is highly folded with large number of longitudinal folds. Longitudinal folds. And called rugae, R-U-G-A-E. Is a peculiar pronunciation, rugae or gastric rugae. Rugae means folded condition that we commonly termed as rugae. These muscular folds helps in churning the food and also increase the surface area of the stomach. So this is the overall structural aspect of the stomach. Let us now discuss about the function of the stomach. The function of the stomach is this. Functions of the stomach. Stomach performs the following functions. Number 1, storage of food for sufficient time. Sufficient time, when food entering into the stomach, it stays for quite some time, quite long time, roughly about 3 to 4 hours. Sufficient time, approximately food stays here for 3 to 4 hours. This is a storage organ. Number 2, churning of the food that helps the food materials mixed properly with the gastric juice and also breaks them into smaller particles. The churning of the stomach by the inner wall of the stomach further breaks down the food particles into smaller bits, and as they will be broken down into smaller bits, their surface area also will increase so that enzymes can act more efficiently and better digestion can take place. So churning of the food is being done. Not only that, it also mixes the gastric juice that is secreted by the inner wall of stomach nicely with the food materials. Number 3, gastric juice that is secreted by the inner wall of it partially digests the food. Now in this stomach, the proper digestion starts. Though digestion starts in mouth also, little bit of digestion goes there in the mouth, but proper digestion starts in stomach. Details of digestion, the procedure, the physiology will discuss later, but the gastric juice contains certain enzymes. It partially breaks down certain food substances up to a level, and that is called digestion. This digestion is also performed by this. Now you observe the coming up picture where the structures of stomach that we have now discussed is been given. There are few extra detailed structures been given that you omit. Only find out the structures that we have discussed. Observe this picture where you see the fundus and the place where esophagus enters, the body, the pyloric end, the pyloric sphincter, and the rugae and the muscular wall of the stomach is given. Next, let us go into the next part of the alimentary canal, that is small intestine. Number 5, the previous one was number 4. This is number 5, the small intestine. This is the longest part of the alimentary canal. It is the longest part of the alimentary canal, measuring about 6 to 7 meters in length. Total length is about 9 meters, out of which 6 to 7 meter length is this small intestine. 6 to 7 meters in length and diameter is about 2.5 centimeter. It is highly folded and coiled since it is so long and the space is insufficient in our abdominal region. So it remains in the form of a coiled and folded condition. Of course, it is obviously it can happen folded and coiled condition in the abdominal cavity. It is differentiated into three distinct regions. Number one, duodenum. That is already I have mentioned when we are discussing about stomach. Stomach opens into duodenum, the first part of the small intestine. Duodenum, the stomach opens into C-shaped, a kind of a U-turn the small intestine takes in the beginning. We call it a C-shaped first part of the small intestine. This is about 25 centimeters length, not very long, 25 centimeters only, but it's very important with regard to the process of digestion. In this duodenum, the bile duct and pancreatic duct opens together by a common passage called hepatopancreatic duct. Bile duct comes from the liver and gallbladder, and pancreatic duct comes from pancreas. Together they come and form a common passage, common road, which is finally open into the loop of the duodenum. That has been described here. The bile duct and pancreatic duct opens together by a common passage. The duct, common duct, is called hepatopancreatic duct. Therefore, bile and pancreatic juice is poured into the duodenum. This helps in partial digestion of food substances. This bile juice and pancreatic juice has immense importance in the digestion of food. The process of digestion, when we will discuss, I will explain part of bile, what bile is doing, what pancreatic juice is doing. Second part is jejunum. Jejunum, Jejunum. It is the middle part of the small intestine after duodenum. It is about 2 meters in length, and no digestive enzyme is secreted here, the inner wall. In the process, however, the process of digestion that started in the duodenum continues here. The process of digestion started in the duodenum is continued here. However, some absorption of digested food like amino acid and then water that we take along with food and separately we take is absorbed. Little bit of absorption this part is doing. And third and final part, the longest part of the small intestine is ileum. I-L-E-U-M. Remember this spelling, I-L-E-U-M. Here you cannot make a mistake to write I-L-I-U-M, because I-L-I-U-M, ileum, is another structure in our body. It's a bone in our body, skeletal system. So carefully write the spelling of ileum, the last part of small intestine. This is the longest part of small intestine, roughly about 3.5 to 4 meters out of 9 meters. This is 3 to 4 meters, means quite long, the longest of it. The inner lining of jejunum and ileum, not only ileum, jejunum also, inner lining is very special. How? Inner lining is not smooth. It is folded like finger-like projections. As you have studied in the cell chapter, mitochondria, the inner wall is folded into the form of cristae. Similarly, here, inner lining of the small intestine, ileum, jejunum also, having large number of prominent finger-like folds. And these folds are together called villi. V-I-L-L-I. Singular villus. One fold is called villus and many of them villi. Villi increase the surface area for better digestion and more importantly absorption of simplified food, because digestion completed here. After coming here, it is completed. So digested food has to be absorbed into the bloodstream. So that's why this is more importantly for absorption of food. In between the villi, there are many small intestinal glands which are present. Those secrete intestinal juice. And intestinal juice contains digestive enzyme which completes the digestion. Now let us see pictures of duodenum part of the small intestine, and then the total division of the three parts, and also the inner lining of the small intestine. After which we will discuss the function of the small intestine. This is the picture of that area where duodenum is present. See the position of pancreas, liver, and the common bile duct and the hepatopancreatic duct opening into the duodenum. Next is, you see clearly all the part of small intestine. Green part is duodenum, light yellow part is jejunum, and dark yellow part is ileum. And now you see the cross section of the ileum showing you the finger-like villi clearly shown in the diagram in the picture. Now you are going to see a diagrammatic representation. This is it, the diagrammatic representation of the same that you have just now saw, showing the lumen and the villi and the wall of the small intestine. Now let me tell you the functions of the small intestine. These functions of small intestine, maybe the typification is not many, but the work that it is doing is very, very important and vast. Here it is. Functions of small intestine says only 2 heads you will see. Maybe the number of heads are less, but these 2 functions are very, very important for the body. The process of digestion is completed here. You might have seen in case of stomach, mouth, duodenum and all those where partial digestion was there. All the food materials like protein, carbohydrate and fat materials partially broken and then came up to this level. But this is the last part of the small intestine where it has to be completed, and small intestine, that means the ileum part of it, is completing the digestion over here. That means protein is broken down up to amino acids, carbohydrate is broken down up to glucose, fructose, galactose, and fats and oil substances are broken down into fatty acids and glycerols. That is completed here, and after completion, the function number 2 is very important. Absorption of the digested food materials, that means amino acids, glucose, fructose, galactose, fatty acid, glycerol are done here, which goes into the bloodstream or the lymphatic ducts. We will discuss that absorption part later after the process of digestion, physiology of digestion. So this absorption incorporate the digested food materials into our system by means of the blood circulation or the lymphatic system. Lymphatic system absorbs the fatty materials mainly, fatty acid, glycerol, and other substances are absorbed by blood capillary present in the villi. That we will see details in another video. Let us complete this video of video number 6. We will continue the discussion in a next video.